Okay, we are back with a fully loaded edition of the Fantasy Football Fix. I am back after my trip. I went to Alton Towers for a stag do, and as you can see, I had a wonderful time. Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Fix. I am Richard from the Dipsy Dudes, and after yet another international break, which allowed me time to work on my Roy Hodgson impression.
For we played very good performance, very good.
It's getting better, isn't it? It's getting better. We are back with fantasy football. It's game week 8, and there's an interesting mix of top versus middle games at the moment, clashes where points should be available to all managers. But before we look ahead, let's look back at the dream team for game week 7. After the points famines of games week 5 and 6, game week 7 was a time to feast, with a number of big players getting points. However, the dream team saw some outside shouts shine too. In attack, Connor Wickham came in with a goal and an assist, while Fletcher and Cisse must have been to the dentist because they both got braces. Cisse has played a total of 151 minutes so far this season over 3 games and has scored 4 goals. At the moment, he is the Toons' only hope of getting goals. He's still, less than 6 million at this point, so he might be worth a low-risk gamble in your attack. In the midfield, Di Maria continued his form with another double-digits haul. 43 points in 5 games? That'll do, pig. That'll do. Alongside him, we have a surprise entrant in Mahrez, who along with Henderson and Di Maria went for a goal, assist and maximum bonus point route, with Ericsson getting 11. Staying with Spurs, Lloris was not only part of the game week dream team, but also entered the overall dream team with 9 points in game week 7. Now, he's only had 3 clean sheets in 7 games, 31 points altogether, which I think speaks volumes for goalkeepers so far this season. He's the only keeper to get more than 30 points. No keeper has had more than 3 clean sheets in the first 7 games, and the most informed goalkeeper in the game at the moment is Speroni on 5.8, and then you've got the Sunderland goalkeeper at 5.2. So as it pertains to goalkeepers, it's a coin toss, Harvey Dent style. In defence, it was West Ham's week, with Tompkins and Reed getting 11 and 8 respectively, and Robertson of Hull more than doubling his season's point total in 1 week with a 12-point haul. Right, that was then, this is now. Let's look ahead at the players for your consideration for game week 8. If you have Brazilian or Argentinian players in your team, you need to consider fitness. These 2 teams have been in East Asia playing friendlies this past week, and the Premier League players have travelled a total of between 12 and 14,500 miles. These are the players that have been affected, and the question is whether they will be risked to go straight back into their teams or whether they will be rested, especially with Champions League and Europa League back next week. Will Chelsea use their superior squad size to rest Willian and Oscar for their European game against Maribor? Thing is, it's not the biggest challenge they're gonna have in Champions League competition, so maybe they will play them in the Champions League. Who knows? With Liverpool, will they think twice about using Coutinho away to QPR so that they can save him for that huge Champions League game against Real Madrid at Anfield in midweek? Man City face Spurs in the Saturday lunchtime kickoff. Would they play a big game like that without Zabaleta, Di Michelis or Aguero, keeping one eye on the fact that they're going to be playing in Moscow on Tuesday evening in the Champions League? It's a big call to make. Man United are in the best position. They are playing on Monday night. They have no midweek game. So as far as they go, they are the least effective and they will probably play Di Maria and Rojo. Speaking of availability, who is left to play for Arsenal? They have 10 players who are red boxed. A further 3 doubtful. They are home to Hull and the pressure goes to Welbeck up top. It goes to Cazorla and Sanchez in the midfield to be creative. It is time for them to step up. But I think, personally, it is time for you and Arsene to unleash the Ox. He's still less than 6.5 million, but he's been used off the bench, which hasn't suited him at all. He's made 3 starts, he's got a goal and an assist so far in those 3 starts this season. With injuries, he needs to start. He needs to start and he can do the job, so keep an eye out for the Ox to be let loose on Hull. I do fancy Cisse to continue his form for Newcastle against Leicester. As good as the Foxes have been, they haven't played well defensively. They get hurt at set pieces, they can't break down attacks, so teams get a lot of shots against them. They're averaging 23 shots against them a game, which is crazy. Cisse has been in lethal form when he plays, with a goal every 2.7 shots so far this season. They are creating chances for him and he is finishing them. I see that continuing, so get on the Big Papa. I love it when we call him Big Papa.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player.
West Ham haven't won away since August, but with their new signings playing so well as of late, I still think Sacco is worth a squad place for you. Current form of 7 points and a goal every start he's made. He's averaging a goal every 95 minutes played. Similar shots ratio to Cisse from earlier on. Now those stats do go up slightly as it pertains to his away form as opposed to his overall season form. However, it's not enough for me to think that that form isn't going to continue at Turf Moor this weekend. So get on Sacco. A really interesting game sees 2 form sides in Sunderland travelling to St Mary's to play Southampton. The Saints coming off an away loss to Spurs and Sunderland coming off a great home win. However, the Black Cats have only scored 2 goals away this season and they have been bogged down in the midfield or pushed back into their own third. However, they have only conceded 3 goals in 3 away games. Meanwhile, Pele is currently on a goal a game average at home, while the defence has only conceded 1 goal in 3 home games. That being Stone Cold Charlie Austin getting that wonder goal the last home game. Home and away form suggests that it is going to be once again Southampton keeping a clean sheet at home to make it 4 shutouts in 8 game weeks. The Dipsy Dudes Divisional Championship. A new contender has made their way to the top of the table, with Latchford again taking top spot thanks to their big name players doing the business to get a solid 68 points. Always the bridesmaids and never the bride, it's Rentawag in second with 65 points last week and a very similar looking team. In the bronze medal spot, it's the interestingly named RFL Frisco Ninjas due to a 71-point game week, again with a team containing some familiar names. Is it me, or after only 7 game weeks, is there a very clear framework team that everyone seems to have? Ivanovic and a Southampton defender. Fabregas, Sigurdsson, Di Maria, Sterling, Chadley midfield, Costa up top, maybe with Aguero. team after team after team with those same players featured. Now, I'm not saying it's essentially wrong. I mean, you gotta go with the players that are making the biggest noise. That's just how you play the game. But what is important now is that those 3 or 4 unique players that you have in your team perform every week. I mean, the Allures of this world, the Pelés of this world, the Sackos, the Dyers, the James Chesters, they need to perform every week because your framework team is going to be the same as everyone else's, whether everyone gets 60 points from them or whether they get 30 points from them. But for those 3 or 4 different players that you have, if you're getting an extra, 30 or 40 points on top because they're performing while everyone's there, you can get that extra 10, 15, 20 points that's either going to pull away from the crowd or get you back in contention at the top. So keep those in consideration. They're important players. They're not just squad players. They are important players and they will define whether you are at the top or in the middle. So get your game heads on, alright? Right, that's about it for this game week. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next week with more of the same. Remember, if you like what you see, click the old like button or click the subscribe button to ensure that you get the latest fantasy football fix and Dipsy Dudes videos as soon as they are released. You can also leave a comment for us in the description. If you do though want to join in the conversation that we've got going on, we've got a sub forum on the FISO.com Fantasy Premier League forum page. Check us out on there and join in the discussion. We also have a social media presence on Twitter and on Facebook. Links down in the description. But until next week, good luck to all you fantasy football managers in game week 8. Let's do this!